Hi folks, Dave, the man from the East. It's going to be another speed round. Get ready for it. So things Forrest Fenn said about the first clue. Number one, start with the first clue. The second one up there too. The first clue is the very first line in the poem. I've told you folks that. That's the way it is. Second one that I just posted with that. If you can't find the first clue, you don't have anything. All right? A lot of people think it's begin it where warm waters halt. That is the first clue to the map, not the first clue to find the treasure. Now, I'm going to keep going on that. You're going to get it. I know you are. If you don't have the first clue, you might as well stay home, right? Because everybody's got the first clue, though. It's beginning where warm waters halt, unless it's the very first line. The problem searchers make is not dwelling enough on the first clue. Now, people are telling me that the first clue is beginning where warm waters halt. Everybody's dwelling on the first clue, right? No, because you're dwelling on beginning where warm waters halt. Folks, when you see this, you will understand why I solved Forrest Fenn's poem. The very first clue in the line of the very first stanza, as I have gone alone in there, is your first clue. And I still will prove that with a few other things I'm going to put up here. Forrest said at one time, it surprises him how many people ignore the first clue. You got thousands and thousands of people using begin it where warm waters halt. How could they be ignoring the first clue? Because they're not going to the first line in the poem. That is your first clue, folks. When you see this, this is where the magic is, the there. And a few people are getting it. But the first line in the poem is your very first clue. Actually, the four lines, the whole first stanza is your first clue. Beginning where warm waters halt is the first clue in the map. You have to get that in your head to understand Forrest's psyche. All right, next. Okay, until a person finds the treasure, they won't know for sure that they've solved the first clue. Why? Because you don't know where there is. That's your very first clue. When you realize where you need to go and how you get there, from there, it's no place for the meek, is Palisades Hill. You folks, I know a lot of you shut it off when you hear it's Cimarron Canyon in Palisades Hill. That's okay. You'll find out eventually. But that first clue, lined up, if you look back at the clues I gave out, the 1 through 9, it's it's there, folks. It is the spot where you need to be looking. All right, let's keep this going with a speed round. But your very first clue, get it all out of your head, everything else you've heard. The very first clue is, as I have gone alone in there. Okay, not likely that a person would get within 12 feet of it and not find it. Because when you're at the edge of that parking lot and you're looking for the treasure, when you've gone your tarry scant at the end of the parking lot, you're 12 feet away from the cross. Or the circle of stones. That's why he said it's not likely that a person will get within 12 feet and not find it. Correctly decipher the clues and they will bring you to the treasure. As it did. It's in my clues. Take a look at it. Forrest said it's not in a dangerous place. If you're looking in a dangerous place, you're looking in the wrong place. Move on. This one goes out to that guy suing Forrest for the or Forrest's family, or whoever he's suing, saying it was in the desert down there where he was digging. It's not in the desert. Get a new theory, buddy, and drop the lawsuit. All right, that picture has a few different descriptions, but basically, take a partner, and that's what I didn't do to dig. So that's why I waited. All right, next. All right, this one is where it gets a little tricky. Forrest said that people have been within 200 feet of the treasure. Now I'm going to explain quickly why he says that. Because so many people stop at Palisade Sill to look at the sill. Many people have been within 200 feet because that Palisade Sill marker that's 8.3 miles from Eagle's Nest, the home of Brown, that Palisade Sill, there are few people who were literally looking there, considering how many people have gone out and looked for the treasure. But that Palisade Sill marker is the pinpoint that he's talking about, that people had been, and searchers, because searchers have gone through the canyon looking up and down at Clear Creek, down at Maverick Creek. People knew that it was in Cimarron, but when they tell them, oh, we stopped and looked at Palisade Sill, they were within 200 feet of the treasure. And that's where that comes in. All right? There's a little sign up above that I talked about, and a few other things. It's in the book, but that's specifically what he is saying when he's talking about people have been within 200 feet. Worked on this poem for 15 years, folks. Changing and rearranging words. All right. Very few words in the whole poem are not useful, but it's risky to discount any of them because the most important word in that poem, as I said before, is the word there. You need to figure out what the word there is. Poem contains all the information needed to find the treasure. The poem is a map, and I've told you what the map portion is, specifically, in order. It's all there. It will lead you to the treasure. Folks, watch my nine clue video. It leads you directly to that cross that I put up in the pictures. Okay, how's that? 9 clues in the poem. You cannot start in the middle of the poem. You must start with the first clue and solve the other 8 in order. Now, where are you people starting that have always said begin at where warm water salt? You're starting in the middle of the poem, folks. It is the first clue, and I can say that every single time. It's the first clue to the map, not to solve where the treasure chest was. Nobody will ever get it until they realize the first clue is the very first line, and hopefully you're getting it. No human trail within close proximity to the treasure. There isn't. There's no trail. It's on the side of the parking lot. There's trails down by the other side of the picnic area. There's even trails across the street near the Cimarron River for fishing. There's no trails within close proximity. Okay, the treasure site receives no visitors and is in no risk of being discovered accidentally. People see a cross on the side somewhere. They don't mess with it. They shouldn't mess with it. I did because I knew it was the end of the Forrest's poem. But in reality, nobody's going to mess with the cross that's sitting there. And as far as the site, you have campsites. You have this site, that site. You're next to each other. But that specific site where the treasure chest was under the cross, unless you knew what you were looking for when you came down from Eagle's Nest, you were going to miss it. Everybody misses it. Everybody did miss it, except for one person who solved it. And that cross, the significance, it all fits in. If you look at my videos, folks, just look at it constructively. You will see it all fits perfectly. That cross is the site that receives no visitors because Forrest put it there. Nobody goes there to put flowers or anything else. It's the site itself receives no visitors and is not in chance of being discovered accidentally. Forrest said it's not in a place where an 80-year-old man wouldn't go. Right on the side of a parking lot. There's a reason why Forrest said this. If you knew what the home of Brown was, you could go straight to the treasure. Because in my clues, the home of Brown, the next line is pinpointing where to look for the treasure. And you would drive down, you would park right in front of it, just like I did. The home of Brown, next place is from there, it's no place for the meek. He's pinpointing Palisades Hill for you. And when you drive down to it, that's straight. That's your next clue. That's where the treasure is. That's why he said it that way. There's so many things that he tricks around with the words, folks. That's why I said this whole poem is magical. But until you literally really see it, it's only going to be just words like other people are putting out. All right, next. If you can solve more than the first two clues at home, you're probably force-fitting your theory. The reason why, because at home you're going to be looking at the map, or a map, Google. You're going to see where Walmarters halt, Agua Fria Peak, and then you're going to see home of Brown. Those are your first two clues that you're going to see from home. The next ones are Palisades Hill, and you're not going to know that Palisades Hill is there until you figure out the other clues from the beginning of the poem, as I've gone alone in there. That's the connection there, folks. And again, that whole first section where the first poem is, the first stanza, as I've gone alone in there, he tells you he's in the middle of the canyon from New Rock and Old Rock, which separates at Palisades Hill. He pinpoints it. He pinpoints it. You will get it. You will get it. When he says when you figure out the first clue, the other 7 will come in order. That must mean that the other 7 clues can only be solved on location. So when you figure out the first 2 clues, your next clue, Palisades Hill, the rest of them are solved from that point. And I go over that in my 9 clues video. This is a big one, folks. Fenn said, if your search leads you somewhere, there is not an easily descriptive object within 200 feet. You are looking in the wrong place. That descriptive object he's talking about is Palisades Hill, within 200 feet of the treasure. I can't emphasize it enough. Anyways, I did the speed round. I gave you a bunch of clues here, a bunch of answers, a bunch of hints, and how it all connects. And I tried to cover the first clue so that you folks would understand that when Jack's theory comes out and he's talking about starting at begin at where warm waters hold, folks. You, his theory, whatever he comes up with for an answer, I can tell you right now, it's going to be debunked by me. Anyways, watch my videos, folks. I hope you enjoyed this. It was kind of another speed round, back and forth. So if you have any questions on it, ask me, please. But to sit there and complain about it or say I'm wrong, it's useless banter. I would just rather answer honest, true answers for you. Just any questions you have on why something is a certain way, because I can answer it, folks. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.